My name is Wayne Gore. I grew up on Bruckner Boulevard. Currently, I work for Alliance Partners with a financial advisory firm.
Quincy Evans, born and raised in the Bronx, 2040 Bruckner Boulevard. I currently work at Rothschild as an investment banker.
My name is Miguel Vargas. I live in 2245 Bruckner Boulevard in the Bronx. I went to Choate, now I attend Princeton.
In a city of 8 million people, Wayne Gore and I grew up in the very same house.
When I had heard that so many alums had come from Bruckner Boulevard, my first reaction was that there's probably something in the Bronx water. Having been there in the beginning when it was, frankly, one man's crazy idea. None of us would have expected that prep would have become what it has become.
Prep has dramatically changed my life. The opportunities, the education, the support that they have provided me. Without that, I don't see myself here today at Princeton. One day I got this weird letter in the mail, and it was talking about all these colleges that I always dreamt of going to. A couple days later, my assistant principal brought me into his office and spoke about the program. And then when I went home that night, I spoke to my mom about it, and we went to the initial Prep 9 meeting.
I came to the United States when I was 18 years old. I got pregnant for my son, and I started working full-time. It was hard. He always say, I'm gonna go Harvard, I'm gonna go Princeton, I'm gonna go here. I was thinking, single mother, it would be hard for me to get it. But because of Prep for Prep, my dream come true and his dream came.
When my family learned about prep originally, there was a lot of uncertainty, obviously. No one in my family had ever gone to boarding school, private school. But going back to 1990, New York City and the Bronx, those were some pretty tough years. You know, a lot of murders, a lot of violence, and prep basically represented an opportunity to get me out of the city. It was just that simple. My mom felt like I had to go.
So the block where I grew up was predominantly working class families. Our household, it was a single parent household. Prep for Prep came into my life during 5th grade. I had certainly not heard of Horace Mann. My mother had not heard of Horace Mann. There was no way to really understand the magnitude of change that was about to occur in my life just by virtue of starting at a school of that caliber. In many ways, it's like, I think, discovering a new world, right? That, in which the laws of physics are different, right? What's up is now down. What's black is now white.
My experience in the preparatory component till this day has been the most difficult thing I've ever done. Even harder than Princeton. I've pulled more all-nighters in the preparatory component that I have here, but I loved every minute of it.
You know, every prep kid, for example, goes through a period of time when they think about, is this path really for me? And, prep stepped up to the plate several times for me during Andover. For example, my brother passed away, and I don't even know how prep found out about everything, but when I returned to New York for services, it was as if, not only did I have my family and my friends and my sort of immediate community available for me, but I was receiving calls from Mr. Bornaro and people at prep, to extend their condolences and provide support that, it's that kind of touch that I think prep provides its students during what is ostensibly a difficult endeavor. My own personal situation with a newborn baby boy, when he's embarking on high school 15 years from now, for example, he'll have an even longer legacy of success and things that he can draw upon to shape the path he chooses to pursue. And that all began, for me, with Prep for Prep.
When I came home to visit one weekend, and my parents sent me grocery shopping. Their cashier was a former friend of mine from middle school, and she was a talented girl. We were both first honors, and I thought she was just working there to, pay for school. So I asked her, how's school? And she told me that she had to take a year off because she couldn't afford it, and she thinks she's going to go back next year. That's usually a story that gets repeated multiple times. I'll come back to school, I'll come back to school, and I hope she does. That story helped me appreciate how fortunate I am to have a program like Prep.
What Prep instills in students is you have to be successful regardless of how challenging the setting is for you. When I show up on the trading floor and no one looks like me or no one has my background, I still have the ability to operate at a high level. My professional path has also been shaped by Prep for Prep. My first job at JP Morgan when I was in high school was obtained through the Summer Jobs Bank at Prep for Prep. And I've worked in financial services for the last 12 years since graduating college in 2000.
I'm very fortunate. I've been married for nearly 10 years. My wife has been very supportive, obviously, of all the things we've done and all the places in the world I've dragged her. I have two beautiful girls. They're still young, 8 and 6. They're happy, they're healthy. They go to great schools, and we've been, given the background that I've had educationally, that's been a real focal point for me to expose them to the benefits of quality education.
My short-term goals are definitely going to law school. What intrigues me most about law, I have to say, is growing up in the Dominican Republic, where through corruption you can basically get away with anything. And coming back to America and being able to have these legal code books where it's firm and you know what your rights are, that intrigues me most.
25 years later, Prep was able to find two people from the same address that have the same aspirations and set them both towards a path to success. This coincidence says a lot about Prep's determination.
I'm devoted to helping Prep continue to look at that neighborhood, to find talent, because I think it's there.
I think all the boroughs in New York have these same circumstances where you have students from failing school systems who don't have the opportunities to rise, who don't know how to.
That's the beauty of Prep for Prep, to be honest. Prep identifies talent in places where talent may be overlooked and seeks to have that talent reach its potential.